So you guys lied actually on the interview.
God damn. Liars.
5 shots.
It's been over 3 years because that gig was in October.
Welcome to another episode of the Tiny Mic Sessions. As you know, the Tiny Mic Sessions is a new series of interviews where I take my tiny mics and I go all around Montreal to meet your future favorite musicians and their favorite industry specialists. So today, I'm lucky to be joined by none other than the Chris George Project. Thank you guys
What's
for
going
being here.
on?
Woo! This is awesome. Yeah. I was listening to your music on the way here, and I was very much bumping in the car. And I wanted to know...
That's the potholes.
It's the... Well, yeah, that's true. But also the good tunes, I would say. How did you guys get together, and, like, how did you pick out these wonderful people?
So basically, the Chris George Project actually started in 2018.
Okay.
I had different members then, like my dad was on drums, for example. I had a few other guys.
Shout out Spiro.
And then I guess we didn't do anything for a little while. The band kind of got a little bit quiet. We weren't gigging. And then I wanted to pick it back up a few years later in like 2021. Mm-hmm. And I got these guys to do a gig at, I think the first place was the name of the place that we played at.
It was like an art exhibit place. Do you remember?
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, it was that. Yeah, it was like an art exhibit place. And I got these guys together and we've been making music and playing ever since. Yeah, we had a different bassist for that specific
Juan's
gig.
first gig was at with Honey Waves.
Yes, with Honey Waves.
At Billy Buck.
At Billy Buck. That's the name of the bar. That's it, yes.
Okay, wait,
yes.
is that also the art exhibit place?
The art exhibit.
No, that was another gig. That was another gig that we
it's
did.
for Youth for Youth, I believe.
It's before I moved here, actually. It's before I moved to Montreal.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was how we started.
And then you guys have stuck together ever since.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which is
it's been
something
like,
that,
I guess
like,
2 years, a little over 2 years that we've been all together, this group.
That's really sick because, I mean, I think there is something to say about, like, having a cohesive, consistent band for a project like this. I'm sure, like, you being, I mean, you're the main songwriter for this project, right? How do you feel that has changed the way you make the songs for the project?
Well, you know, I feel like I always wanted to have band members that contributed, honestly. Like instead of, I feel like maybe not even the first go around, because I was also getting used to being in a band and the whole dynamic of how that worked. But really with these guys, it's kind of like I'll write a song or I'll make a demo like on Logic or something like that. And then I'll send it to them or we'll get together in a rehearsal and they kind of just know what to do. You know, like Juan adds like a special something to the bass line and Bryan adds his like sensible touch to the keys. Robbie's just a solid guitar player. He just knows what to do. And I'm not a drummer either. So, you know, when I'm writing these songs, I'm maybe programming a beat in Logic or whatever, but it's nothing compared to an actual drummer.
Yeah, of course.
And they're all great musicians. So they just know what to do with the song. So I never feel like, I always feel safe and I always feel like supported in the music and it just drives it forward, you know, and I love that.
Yeah. I mean, that's super useful. And you wrote like in your bio that there's like a sense of improv that's kind of like a little bit built into the aesthetic. Do you feel that improv is a part of how you write the songs as well? Or is that something that happens more at the show, on the spot kind of thing?
I would say definitely at the shows for sure, because I think that we do a pretty good job of like reading what the energy of the crowd is, you know, and so we'll play according to that. If we're playing on a bill with a bunch of like really, you know, like energetic bands and stuff, like we'll probably be playing the songs with a little bit more intensity. If it's more of a chill night, then we'll, you know, tone it down. But I feel like I'm very methodical in the way that I write my songs. So it's a lot more kind of like arranged and thought out. So I would say, yeah, in the songwriting process, it's much more kind of like controlled. I like knowing exactly what's going to be going on.
Yeah.
And then the shows is kind of like let's just let loose and have fun. Let's just play, you know? So that's what wonderful. I would say.
And I wanted to actually ask all of you guys because being instrumentalists, you're most likely in a bunch of different projects. And it can be like a hassle and or difficult to like pick which projects you want to like get involved in and invest yourself in. And clearly, having seen you guys live more than once and listened to the stuff, it's clear to me that you guys are not just like you're involved in the project, and so I was wondering how do you make, I mean, I'm gonna like go through you individually, I guess. How do you make those decisions of picking, and how come has it been such a good fit with this project?
I guess I'll go first
Yeah,
on that
sure.
one. Well, I'm pretty open musically. I usually end up saying yes. There's very few times I say no to projects. But yeah, I remember Chris asked me after a large ensemble rehearsal at school, and he asked if I wanted to join well, I don't even know if it was join. It was like play a show, right?
Yeah, it was just to play a show, but it was in the back of my mind. I was like,
knew what he was
Yeah, I was
doing.
gonna get you.
Yeah, he was trying to snipe me.
It's like, yeah, no commitment, but
But I was like, hey, look, like just come and play this one gig with us, see how you feel, see if you like the
play
music, and
this
we'll see
art
from there. We'll see what
gallery.
happens, you know? Yeah, it was all part
And
of
Alex is
my
like,
diabolical
yes.
plan.
Yeah, I'm down. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure, because we were all still in school. I think we were like in our last year at that point. And I was like, well, COVID just happened. We hadn't been playing shows for who knows how long, and I was like, a gig would be nice, very nice. And then I listened to the music, and I was like, oh shit, this is sick. Like this, like the songs were super catchy, but also there was like a lot going on, and I actually had to like check out the songs a lot because you couldn't just like pick them up and just play a beat. It was like, okay,
I mean, there's like 4 different genres of music in your music, which is like
Yes.
virtually insane.
And that's per song.
yeah, true. Yeah, that's true. Like I was listening to was it Sound of Change?
oh yeah.
Whoa. Like there's just so much. We'll get back to that later, but yes. So I mean, yeah, it's definitely like stimulating to learn.
Yeah, it was like, okay, like it's like really fun tunes, but also there's like a lot going on, like rhythmically, harmonically, and Chris just writes really great tunes. So I was like, okay,
Thanks, man.
I'm like, I'm down.
Appreciate it.
Love,
You know?
love. This is so cool.
And but yeah, back to like the overall question of like saying yes or no to things. I mean, I'm personally one that believes that all experience is good experience. And I've heard from a lot of musicians, especially older ones, that have said, do all the gigs, even like the dumb gigs, because it's just overall experience that you have.
Yeah.
So I'm more of a proponent of saying yes than no.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
If you want to hold
Hey,
it,
Rob.
Robbie, you can hold the mic. It feels very like spoon. Here comes the plane.
What do you have to say to the people? I feel very similar to Alex. I would say I tend to say yes to gigs unless there's just something really not like vibing. Like
Yeah,
if
it
you
doesn't
just-
sound right.
Yeah, if it doesn't sound right, or if you just like there's like really no connection with
And
whoever
the
you're
hang in our
playing with.
band is absolutely terrible, eh?
I know it's
The hang
awful.
is awful.
I really only
God.
stay for the music. No, I kid. No, but I mean, obviously, like Chris and I, we went to school together, so we bonded over like just shared like love of genres like blues and rock and stuff like that, and so like the vibes were always great.
It's true.
Yeah, so I would say I think recently I've started to get like a bit more picky in what I say yes to. I'd say before COVID I was involved in like a lot of stuff at the same time. And now, but you know, obviously at some point you can only join so many bands at once.
Yeah.
So at some point you have to start picking and choosing. But this one was always an easy choice.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, it's where do I start?
Where do you start, Brian?
This is not
This sounds like a best man speech.
Yeah, no, for real.
We're
the
all
best
marrying
guys,
the Chris George
man.
project. This is
They're all saying such sweet things.
I mean, it's a really easy choice for me to make because I've known Chris for so long, and we've talked so much about music and our lives in general. And the songs that Chris writes are obviously very important to him, and by extension to me because we're so involved in our lives. Like we live together, and even though and I also want to say like, I was not born a rocker, and this has been really, really rewarding and challenging experience at the same time from the start. And I'm so happy that I stuck around, and this is one of the most important thing that I have the chance to do.
I'm gonna cry.
so lovely.
It was my plan all along to make you a rocker.
You're just like, I'm just slowly just transforming them.
Yeah. No, but you still bring a very, very, very delicate and unique touch to the band, which I love. It's like somehow, in some kind of way, it works so well. So I thank you for being a part of it for sure.
He's the fourth genre in the
Yes,
in the
exactly.
It's like rock, funk, Bryan.
Okay, it's me now.
Yeah.
I think we first met at school, I think, although we didn't have classes together or anything. I was just kind of around. I had just moved here, and this was one of my first gigs that I ever took. So the fact that Chris saw me play and that he wanted to play with me and that he wanted me to be a part of his band, that was really sick at the time. I was 18. And I had just moved here. And now I feel like it's given me so many other things and so many other gigs, so many other, I feel like artistically, Chris is such a visionary that he, regardless of what he does or what he writes, we're all just going to be there with him. Because that's sort of how I feel. I think it was cool. It was cool to be that guy that you picked. Because we played a gig together, another gig unrelated, and then, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
There's definitely a lot of trust. There's definitely a lot of trust in the writing process because Chris knows what he wants, and we don't know that or we forget that, but he does know what he wants. And
Chris knows what he wants.
Sometimes you gotta trust, and then you'll see at the end that he's right usually.
Chris knows best, everybody. I would love actually to hear more about the I guess the workshopping process, because we've spoken about this separately at a couple months ago when I actually came to Chris for help with songwriting, because I was just dropped out of med, and I was just like, I want to do this thing. I have no idea what I'm doing. And then you were very kind, and you sat with me for 2.5 hours, and we're just so this is kind of what I do. And I was just like, what the hell? And then, anyway, but so you'll build the skeleton of the song on a DAW and then bring it to them. So I'm assuming there's then a workshopping process that happens where everybody's kind of well, this and that and this and that. What does that look like?
So I would say, for starters, I would say that the process of writing it in the DAW, it always it's always developed at different levels. Sometimes I'll write parts for everybody, and I'll be like, this is the part, Robbie, this is the part, or Bryan, this is the part. And then there's other sections where maybe there's a little bit of leeway, or I know that I want a specific thing there, but I'm not really sure what, and I'll ask Bryan what he thinks would be the best part to play in this specific thing. So I'll usually so I'll write out the songs and then bring it to the guys, and usually, I mean, they always kind of just know what to do. It's really kind of a seamless process, honestly.
Yeah, okay.
And any song that ever takes a little bit more time, I think it's just a matter. Sometimes we'll just let it be for a little while. We just won't play it, and we'll move on to something else.
Any songs you've put out that were some of those that you had to let sit?
One that's coming out soon.
Yeah, one that's gonna come out soon. But that's not the next one. There's one that's gonna come out later, but it's further along. There is one where that actually happened. Yes.
Okay,
so I brought it to the group, and I guess we just couldn't get it together at the time. But then a few months later, I brought it back. I'm like, no, guys, I really believe in this song. Let's try it again. Let's see what happens. And it was really smooth actually when we brought it back. Yeah. Somehow I was like, we got this.
This is fine.
We understood the groove. We understood what to do, and we just locked in, had a really good pocket, and we started playing it at all our shows.
There you go.
So it's a really cool thing actually. Sometimes you just have to let things breathe, and you come back to it later, and then somehow it works. I think it's just that repetition and experience of playing with each other, rehearsing with each other, all that stuff, and the music kind of just came naturally. Always does.
Every time that we. Chris brings an idea, Chris brings something that he has, or Chris brings a song. Whatever it is, I think that we're all really we have that sensibility of this could be this way, or we're taking it this path, because Chris is a really adventurous songwriter, I find, in that he doesn't stick with something that works. He just like does whatever he feels like he does, because we all have really different influence and diverse influences. I think we get what you're trying to do in these cases.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it works.
I would like to add, this is I just thought about this, but think about how often we're in a car together and just like putting on music.
Yeah.
It's true.
I feel like we just naturally
True.
listen to the same stuff, and then we have the same, like we subconsciously have the same ideas.
Yeah, or like you're listening to
True.
a song and then something happens and they go, oh,
Yeah, it's
and you're like,
okay.
okay,
Yeah.
that
Yes.
is something that we
Yes.
should recreate somewhere at some point.
It's
you know?
happened. It happens in all these. I guess it happens in all these little ways. Like we show each other
You
songs
just notice
a lot all
Yeah.
the time. We listen to the same music. We notice like moments in songs that are just really,
Yeah.
really, really cool.
Flat 7/4.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, flat 7/4 for all the rockers out there. And so
Yeah, you're like, oh, you should do that thing, the thing we
you know,
listened to
and
in
it's
the
like,
car.
yeah,
And
that's
you're
it.
like, yeah.
And then I guess like it's through doing a bunch of that and then adding it to the songs. We also like to like change up sections of the songs sometimes from show to show.
Yeah.
Just to add a little bit more variety and stuff like that. And it's really helped us develop like our own sound, honestly. Like
Yeah.
that's really what it is. Like coming back to how the songs, like when we were talking earlier about how we put a song down for a little while and then bring it back later. It's just because our sound has been developing.
Yeah.
And so it just becomes more and more natural, you know, through all of these things, the car rides, listening to music, showing each other songs, playing covers that we all dig, you know, and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, the cover you did, I was at the Kitty Brum show a while back, and you did a cover of a Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
And that was, Chris, that was
now.
life-changing. I was like,
Oh,
this is
man.
wonderful. Like, I had such a good time. So that cover, I don't know if you do it often, but you should.
I'm so
It's
happy that you
so
brought
good.
that up because that was one of my favorite covers that we've ever done. Honestly,
Like,
it was
honestly?
gorgeous.
I
It was
right?
yeah.
You should do it again, please.
Yeah, we did Us and
For me,
Them by Pink Floyd, and Robbie can tell you a whole bunch about Pink Floyd. He's the Pink Floyd guy.
He's the guy. He's
yeah,
the plug.
Yeah,
That's another thing that I think separates us from a lot of other groups in Montreal. Well, maybe not a lot, but from our own experience, we've gigged so much. Like we have played for lots of people. We've played for no people. I think we've played with almost every other band in Montreal.
yeah, it's true. We have.
Like we have just put so much time on stage with each other playing like these
That
songs.
makes a huge difference.
And I think that comes back to like the workshopping thing. Like we know.
You're basically workshopping on the gig at this point.
Yes.
Yeah,
You're
absolutely.
like, oh, this was nice. We should do this again next show.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like this worked, and you know.
A lot of things that are on the recordings of the tunes that we have written since.
Sorry.
A lot of things that are in the tunes.
This is what the no headphones does.
Yeah, sorry.
It's okay. It's not your fault.
A lot of things that we do live are like, or that we do on the record are things that just came up live or came up in a rehearsal or bits that we have and this we put in the song. And I think that the crowd appreciates that. But yeah, inside and outside of the Chris George project, I feel like we've all gigged so much.
Yeah.
Like,
We've all gigged a lot, and we're also all band leaders too.
Yes, it's
Like
true.
we're all band
does
leaders
help,
in different projects.
Because when you don't know the reality of like having to get other people excited and involved in a project, once you have that experience, you're so much more like sensible to being the band member that shows up nicely in somebody else's band.
Yeah,
Like it's
absolutely. Yes.
so important.
The communication and the hang is so important. And yeah, I can't stress enough how important it is, like exactly like you said, the fact that we're all band leaders and we all have a sensibility to the music and how to serve it properly. I love that I can trust all of their ideas easily. Like that's a really, really, really big thing, you know, about us that's something that I'll never take for granted, you know?
Yeah, it's
We
it's
hardly
very
ever
big.
butt heads about our musical ideas. I feel like we just know, you know? Juan will be, oh, let's end with a hit here. Let's do this. Let's add a punch here. And I'm
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
hell yeah, let's do it. You know?
And like you
Yeah.
try, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But you know,
Yeah,
like,
Yeah,
and
but
we're all
exactly.
pretty like we all vouch for our own ideas, but if we hear that it's not working, we're not stubborn about it.
Like,
Like
okay,
we're not
yeah.
like, no, we gotta make this work. Like,
Stuart
no.
Copeland.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about, because I think you and Robbie do back vocals, or do you all do back vocals? What is that? Wow, I
It's
just
mainly
Yeah,
Robbie
mainly
and
me and
Juan. Yeah.
So how did that come about? Do you just like did you just start singing along in rehearsal and he was like, yes, do it
I
again? Or
forced them.
you forced
Yeah,
them?
basically.
Because personally, that's something, I mean, I'm biased, okay, because I'm a vocalist, but there's something about a 3-part that's like, it rocks everybody's world and it makes them feel like they're like home, you know?
If I may say, the 3-part harmonies that we have, most of them were like Chris was like, this is what we're gonna do. And he knows exactly what notes to play, and he knows that Robbie does the 5th, or like that he's doing the 7th, because
So it's rehearsed separately from the rest
not
of
separately,
Yeah.
but like sometimes just like Chris will be doing a song, and then Chris will be like, here, you'll do that, and then you'll do that, and then we'll all practice it a couple times until we get it, and then just keep doing it with the song. Sometimes live, I've come up with harmonies, or we've like made up harmonies, and then they've stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That has also been a way where we have used that.
Because I think I've heard you in rehearsals kind of just, even with when we've played together, you'll sometimes you'll just sing along.
Well, because I hear it.
Yeah.
Like one thing that Chris needs all the credit in the world for is his ears are insane.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Like his
Call him Dumbo.
ability to hear harmony
Guys.
is actually unreal, and I'm not just saying it. I've met like a lot of musicians in town. His ears are literally some of the best ears in Montreal.
true.
I
What
will
is this
fucking
interview
put
right
money
now?
on that.
Honestly, it makes me so mad.
I
Yeah.
will also say that we are also close to in terms like talking about backing vocals and stuff. We're also close to the Beatles, and I think that we all draw a lot from them, and
And it's such a fundamental part of their sound. Like, it wouldn't sound the same if there was one vocal going on.
Yeah, we all definitely love the Beatles for sure. They're one of the biggest influences for me. Definitely the band that made me want to start writing songs. Because at first, when I first started playing, it was really just about being like as good of a guitar player as I could be. You know, I would listen to, I don't know, I'm a blues guy, so I would listen to Stevie Ray Vaughan and B.B. King and Gary Clark Jr. and all these guys. And I was like, I just want to have a touch like that. I want to have a feel like that, you know? And then, you know, I had already listened to the Beatles, but it was really, I don't know, I came back to them and I was like, no, there's something really special about being able to write a song that can impact someone. Like just write this little world, this little 3-minute, you know, this little 3-minute snippet of sound that creates a world for someone that they could just live in for a little while, you know?
Yes, exactly.
So
And it's like, there's a lot of stuff that I find catchy in Beatles songs that I find that you use really well, not in the copying sense, but in the like finding those little things that like bring people in, those like interactive bits, or even like I don't know, just the way the choruses are put together. Is that something that's like on purpose, or is just like you write the song and then you're like, it just so happens that the people enjoy it like that? Or do you think about like, okay, I want the crowd to freak out at this point, and then whatever else, or we'll do a dramatic pause.
I definitely, it's definitely, you got, it's 100% intentional for sure. Like all of that stuff is definitely intentional. Because when I listen to bands like the Beatles, or like ABBA is also another fantastic example of a band that just like every single part of the song is memorable. Like we spoke about this so many times. We're talking about like Dancing Queen, for example. Like you could sing every millisecond of that song. You know what I mean? There's always something. There's always a hook or something that you could like that you can hang on to, that you can listen for, that you can sing along to. And so I always tried to incorporate that in my songwriting. I always wanted to make like in the spaces have like a specific catchy guitar part that like catches someone's ear, or a harmony, or a fill, or something, you know, any of that kind of stuff. I definitely 100% owe that to the Beatles for sure.
Oftentimes,
for sure.
when we're like listening to music in the car and showing each other music, that's what we look for too.
Yeah.
Like when I'm listening to a song and I think about, oh, look at all these parts, and look at all these people playing these different parts, and they fit in so well. I always think about playing with Chris, because I feel like we all know our parts really well. And I also feel like when I show you tunes when we're in the car, or when we're hanging out, or when we're here, I'm like, I think of them because they're like, they have a lot of parts.
Yeah, we love parts.
So by part you mean like written out lines?
Yeah.
Or do you mean like riffs? Because a part could be
a
bunch of different things.
Exactly,
like when you say part, do you mean like
I guess
like
it'd be
specific
like
bass line?
a specific bass line, a specific written out guitar part, like a riff or a lick or something like that.
Yeah.
A specific melody, you know, any of that kind of stuff, a motif that
Yeah,
like
the stuff
repeats
that
itself
people-
throughout the songs.
Yeah.
You know,
People
like
will
Bryan, and
remember
we have
specifics. I don't know why, but the first thing that comes to mind is the bass line to "I Wish."
yeah,
Like
yeah.
you play that, everybody
Yeah.
knows right away what's going
Yes.
on. Like,
And it's
100%.
something You have to play it like that.
yeah, you can't. Yeah,
It's
exactly.
one
You
of those
can't fuck
things
with
like
it.
when you say it, you can't like you almost want to sing along because it's so
Yeah.
good. It's like you
Yeah.
say that and you're like, oh man, I want
Yeah, like
to.
immediately.
You just want to jump in right away, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. I want to ask you guys about the new song that's gonna come out soon.
Yes.
I'm gonna go reset my cameras and then we're gonna talk about that.
Perfect.
Okay, everybody, you can pause your recordings.
I never act like a fool. I keep my cool, and I always know the right things to say. But then you come my way and ask for my name, and my heart knows what it wants to say. But I stutter, can't even say a word. You make me so nervous, good Lord, that I wanna hide. Yeah, I stutter. I've forgotten how to talk. You make me so nervous, good Lord, but I wanna try. Yes, I do, baby.
Yay! Wow, that was crazy. That's exactly what I wanted. Like, that's
Yeah.
perfect.
That was cute, guys.
Yeah, that was very
really
cute and wholesome and nice, and
was
my heart
nice.
is warm. My heart is very warm. So this is can you tell the people what the name of the song is and why it exists? How did it happen?
So this song is called I Stutter. And I guess it was inspired. We had done a gig where we did like a country tribute show. We were playing like a bunch of like 90s country songs. And I got very inspired by that stuff. And I was like, okay, I really want to write a country song. And I was thinking of, you know, what to write it about. And I was like, it'd be cool to, I don't know. I thought it'd be really wholesome to write this song about this guy that wants to talk to a girl and he just can't get his words together because, you know, he's just so infatuated with her, I guess, you know. And she makes him nervous. She tries to talk, but he just can't, as I can't right now, apparently.
The song's just getting to you.
You know, it's just getting to me. It's in my DNA, I guess. So, yeah, that's it. I thought that it was a country adjacent theme.
Country theme.
A country theme.
He do
And,
talk about trains or mama.
Yeah, or beer,
being in jail.
or Saturday
sure,
nights,
pickup
or
trucks.
whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But I
So
felt
it's like a
it's still-
wholesome country.
It's a wholesome country song, yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think country in generally is pretty wholesome, I would say, I think.
You'd be surprised. There's some raunchy
No,
ass
there's
country
definitely,
out
yes,
there.
there's definitely some raunchy stuff for sure. But
Like, but there is such a genre as romantic country music, I think.
yeah, for sure,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure. Absolutely.
That's lovely. So then, was this song written recently, or was this song like a song that's been in the books for a minute?
This has been in the books for a little while. I don't remember exactly. Maybe it was written, I think it was written in like March of 2023.
Okay.
I think it was around that time.
Of 2022.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe after that. It's going to be 3 years.
Yeah. It's going to be 3 years
Wow.
till
It's
we're
actually, now
together.
that I think about it, it's going to be 3 years of you guys' gig at the art thing. So you guys
Yeah.
lied, actually, on the interview.
God damn. Liars.
shots.
It's been over 3 years because that gig was in October of 2021.
Imagine.
Yeah, but
Over
all that
3
to say, yeah, I Stutter. Yeah, I wrote it in March of 2023. Oh my God, popular.
I'm sorry. It's all.
No, it's all good, it's all good.
Zach Winter.
It's all Zach.
It's all Zach Winter.
Hi.
Shout out Zach
Hi,
Winter.
Sam. How are you, Sam?
Shout out Zach
he
Winter.
loves like
best guy.
15 texting me. Zach, stop it.
Shout out Cockfight, by the way.
They need to get another name.
No, that's a good name.
You think so?
I love the name. It's
Zach's been telling
fantastic.
me a lot that he wants to change the name.
He wants to change the name.
Because it's not very
No.
festivalable.
Well, no, he just doesn't think that it's like serious, but I think it's serious as hell.
I think it's great. I think it's great. There's a lot of crazy band names out there. Cannibal Corpse and stuff, you know.
Yeah, you're right,
So,
but they're like metal.
That's like, yeah.
yeah, I know. You're right. But it's like still, I don't know. It's like kind of,
What insane clown posse. That's
you know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay. So this is a romantic country song, and it
Yes.
sounds wonderful. And when is it coming out?
It's coming out January 24th.
Okay, wonderful.
We also are doing a release show
Ooh,
too
where?
on January 23rd it's at this country bar called But a Whiskey.
Okay.
And I heard about them. I saw some stuff online. I saw some bands playing there, and I was like, oh, this place is really, really, really cool. And they have like line dancing there and all this stuff and everything.
That's
It's super, it's
crazy.
really a really cool vibe. I reached out to them and they said that they would love to have us. So,
That's so fun.
January 23rd we're going to be playing from 9 to 12.
That's wonderful.
And that'll be our single release show, free. And just come, drink, and party, have some fun,
Line
and
dance.
And line dance, yeah.
And that's it. Stutter,
Yeah.
hopefully
Or not.
meet somebody, stutter, or maybe not. Maybe you'll
Hey.
have confidence, you know, and then you'll
Post
you'll
line
get the
dancing,
girl.
ultimate confidence.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hopefully it
So
turns
there you
out
go.
better than the Blues Brothers gig at a country bar.
Yeah, it's true.
What was that?
Oh, they stole a country gig and then they're not playing country music, so that people start throwing shit at them.
And they're
No.
playing behind shaky
You know,
wire.
I'm not.
people throwing
I'm
bottles
not. I
at
can't
them.
be on that gig.
No?
What are you talking
I'm
about?
gonna be in Hong Kong.
Oh, everybody say
Patrick Kilton, this is a message for you.
for Patrick. What?
This is a message for Patrick Kilton. No.
I'm having Patrick on my gig on the 22nd.
Oh, no
Oh, so
way.
He's gonna be-
awesome. He's the best.
He's gonna be just shredding.
Yeah.
So
Shredding. I was
Shredding.
thinking of Jack Black in School of Rock. You know what I'm talking about? Shredding electric guitar. Anyway.
All right.
Anyway.
Okay, I'm gonna close it off with another last question.
Yes.
I mean, I guess this is more directed towards you, but everybody here is allowed to also pitch in. Okay, if you had to pick a big goal for the Chris George project for 2025, like what's something that you would like to do as a band or as like individual members of this band? Like, what's something you have in mind that you're like, this would be sick next year?
Honestly, I would just love to play as many festivals as we can. That's like the biggest thing. That's the thing that I definitely am looking forward to and wanting to do the most, you know? Been sending a lot of like applications and stuff like that during this time because we have a lot of really cool stuff coming. We have a lot of really cool music coming out and a lot of things that we're really excited to share. And yeah, we just want to share it with as many people as we can. So that's what I would say we're looking forward to the most for sure.
That's amazing. Do you do all your own pitching for festivals and gigs and?
Yeah, it's all me. I do it. It's not too hard, I guess. You know, you can find all the application forms and everything online, and I got all the stuff together. We have, you know, all kinds of videos of us playing, and I have my APK and all that stuff. So just sending everything and hoping we get the positive answers. You know, so
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's lovely. I'm very excited for the new song, and I'm very excited to see what happens in 2025 for the Chris George project.
thank
You guys so much for taking the time to sit here with me and answer all my questions. Like, I really appreciate it. And it's cool to have the entire band, to be honest. At first, when you said it, I was like, that's a lot of people. But I'm very happy we were able to make it work. Is there anything else you guys want to mention before we close off the interview?
I want to say that we recorded, we're sitting on quite a few tunes and they all sound incredible. And it's going to be sick.
Stay tuned for more release music in 2025 as
We got
well.
some in the bank.
We got
Yeah.
a lot of songs in the bank. Let me
Do
tell
we
you.
have like an EP or an album? Or are we doing singles?
Who knows?
Oh, okay, mystery. All
Maybe.
right, sounds good.
Who knows?
I won't push it. Sounds good. Well, thank you guys so much.
Thank you
And,
so much.
Thank you guys. If you want to support La Session, feel free to, subscribe wherever you're listening to this. And also, please go check out the Chris George Project. They're doing a bunch of amazing stuff and they deserve your attention. So, yeah. All right. Have a great day, everybody. Ciao.
Bye.
Such a synchronized. All right. Everybody, we can stop the recording of the microphone.